most people that's incarcerated are African Americans and Latinos. Now, the prison system have become a private industry, to where some prisons they got inmates making chips for computers or cell phones. So it's that same mentality is based upon the history of African Americans being in bondage, because we don't have a avenue of light to where we can move to. But the United States itself, given its history, have made a huge amount of money off of immigrants, especially African Americans, because if you look at slavery, that's a form of, is racially driven, but then it's also a form of incarceration. And then once we begin, as a historian, once African Americans gain our freedom, we psychologically still in bondage. When a man gets out of prison, let's say a guy goes in, he serves his time, does what he's supposed to do. He's physically free, but psychologically he's not. Because again, what does society say? Once you're convicted felon, or you're basically dead in society. So how do you adapt to a society that doesn't want you? What happens then? Man tries to survive, provides for his family. He reverts back to what he knows. Criminalization. He starts stealing. He starts robbing people. He may not want to do that, but let's take another case in point. You have someone who has got out, went to school, got degrees, and is trying to adapt to society. What's the sense of going to school and then they say, well, nah, you can't work here because of this, that, and the third. Well, that was 20, 30 years ago. You have to give minorities a chance, instead of just saying, well, we're going to create barriers. I had this discussion with a friend of mine who's a probation officer. And I told her, I said, look, they're human beings just like you. I ain't saying give it to them. But if a man's trying to better himself, you got the opportunity to, help the man out. You should help him. I mean, just because you're a criminal don't mean you're going to be a criminal the rest of your life. I mean, I know there's a 3-strike rule, but again, if society creates barriers for it, it's just like when African Americans were free, what did they went and do? They instituted Jim Crow laws and black codes. So how am I supposed to adapt to society if you still keep me in bondage? But I think that with the prison complex, you have to go all the way back to the institution of slavery to understand where we are now.